It's summertime. It's time to go to the beach, fishing and boating, maybe play golf or tennis, or if you're like me, enjoy gardening. It's such a beautiful time of the year. The snow is gone, the cold weather is gone. We can get out and have a great time. And yet, the heat at this time of the year can become so unbearable, it can be fatal to some of us. Today, I'm going to share with you my 3 tips on how to cope with this unbearable heat, and one of those tips may just surprise you. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Phelps, and today I want to talk about the 3 key things that I do to be able to tolerate the unbearable heat here in Florida at this time of year. And I know for most people around the country and even around the world, the temperatures are well above 100, and we feel very fortunate in Florida not to have gotten to that point yet. But still, high temperatures, even in the 90s, for some of us can become fatal if we don't understand what to do there. So as you're thinking about going out, think about the amount of time that you're going to spend, think about your health concerns, and if you're necessary, as always, please talk to your physician about how much you should take in the heat as well. And follow those instructions pretty well. So let's get started with my 3 tips. Number 1, drink plenty of water. Now you've heard people talk about that all the time. Drink plenty of water. And the question I always get is, how much do I know that I need to drink? Well, the first thing to think about is, how much are you sweating? Are you sweating more than normal? If so, then your intake of water should be higher. Now, sweating is not a bad thing in the sense that it's taking out toxins through the pores of your skin from your body, but over sweating can actually dehydrate you and cause you to lose consciousness and maybe even die if you're not careful. So you always want to keep a bottle of water with you at all times. And I would couple that with not staying out in the heat for long periods of time. Take breaks, come inside into the air condition, or at least be sitting by a fan under some shade so that you can cool the body temperature back down as you continue to drink water. And oh, by the way, most of us here in Florida, we have pools. Be sure to use that pool on a daily basis. I know I do. And it's a great way to get in the water, cool the skin down, allow your body to actually cool down. Now, how much water should you drink? Well, one of my rules of thumb is that I drink enough water that I feel satisfied. And what I mean by that is I don't want to overdrink water so that I feel like in my belly the water's sloshing around. But what I want is to make sure that I'm not thirsty. I want to make sure that when I drink the water that I feel satisfied and that I can continue to sweat. Now, I know for some of you, you may say, well, I don't like the taste of water. And that's okay too. Take and squeeze a piece of lemon or a piece of lime into that water, and that will allow you to actually hydrate better, and it's better for the alkalinity in your body. Now, drinking sugary drinks like soft drinks, juices, or even some of the energy drinks that are out there may actually have the reverse effect of what you want and can increase the risk of dehydration on top of that. So I would say always make sure that you have a nice good sized bottle of water. Again, if you don't like the taste of just plain water, squeeze a little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime in it. That's going to help with the alkalinity of your body, but keep sipping on that during the day. Be sure to take breaks, set into some shade with a fan, or go inside to the air conditioning. But listen to your body. When you start to feel a little weird, a little shaky, get out of the heat quickly. Number 2, the hats. Now, I'm not a hat person, and most of my life I hated hats, and I know probably most of you do as well. But when I'm going to be out in the sun outside, if it's in a dressier occasion, I have started buying hats, wide brim hats like this, to wear. And what it does is it protects my ears, it protects the back of my neck, and of course it protects my face. And more importantly, on top, you can see this mesh around here, but it's a solid piece here because what we want is to protect the top of your head as well. Now, when you're because what people don't understand is, and especially I've seen it with women as well, there's been several women that I've known that's gotten skin cancer where they part their hair on the top of their head. So the hat with this solid piece on top here can actually prevent that from happening. This hat here happens to be designed to be out in the sun, so it's SPF rated. That's an important thing to consider as well. And I know for a lot of women, there's plenty of ladies' hats now that have been coming out that are very stylish. I know most of you don't want to mess up your hair, and I get that. But I have seen some ladies with some very beautiful, stylish hats that I think not only protect you, but at the same time can keep your skin looking well. Now I know for some of you, you may say, well, I can wear sunscreen. You can, but at the same time, we're also trying to reduce the amount of heat on the skin itself. When I'm working out in my yard, and of course this hat's my work hat, so it's a little bit dirtier, but as you can see, there's a flap on the back here that protects my neck. And there's a couple little vents on the side, and then this wide brim literally goes around my head to protect my face from the sun itself. And the nice thing about this hat is I can actually wet it and put it on, and it helps cool my head down. But that's a great hat to have if you're out working or fishing in a boat as well. Step number 3, or idea number 3, is the clothes you wear. Now, I always wear in hot weather long sleeve shirts, and typically I wear them like this. These are SPF rated. I think they're up to 50, and that helps to protect and block the sun from my arms and my chest and my back. And I also wear long pants. Now, the way I originally got this, and this is why this is so surprising, most of you are probably thinking, he's out of his mind. Why would you wear long sleeves and long pants in the hottest part of the year? So I'm about to tell you how I figured that out. Years ago, when I was a teenager, I worked on farms in North Carolina, and there was a man, his name was Robert Guyton. He owned the farms, and he always wore long sleeve shirts with long pants and a hat. And I said to him one day, Mr. Guyton, how in the world can you stand to be out here in all this heat? And he laughed, and he said to me, son, my body's about 10 degrees cooler than your body. And I'm like, I can't even fathom how that could be true. And he began to tell me that what happens is that he's using his natural system of the human body to sweat. By wearing the long sleeve shirts and long pants, it causes the body to begin to sweat, but that sweat wets the interior of the clothing, so when the breeze does come by, it literally helps cool the body down because you're keeping the wet material next to your body. And as I got older and I started to study more and more about the human body, one of the things that I learned about our ancestors is that many times they could catch and kill animals that worked much faster than the human being, but because the human being could sweat, they could chase that animal for longer periods of time, and the animal would finally expire due to heat exhaustion. And that's how they were able to get the meat to survive. So your ability to sweat is actually a great thing. And I know that for most of you, when you think of sweating, it sounds dirty and nasty and smelly and all those things. But understand that if your sweat is really smelly, it has a lot to do with the foods and the things that you're eating and drinking. So you want to check those to be sure. But secondly, the sweat, like I said earlier, takes the toxins out of your body, and it cool down your skin on your body. So when you think about it, I started to share that with my wife, and we've been together for almost 15 years, and I kept talking about it, and she kept thinking that I had lost my mind. She would go out with a spaghetti strap top on and shorts as she's going outside, and she was talking about how hot it was, and she couldn't understand how I could continue to work as she was burning up. And what I shared with her was that when you wear tank tops or spaghetti strap tops like that, the shoulders are exposed up here. So as fast as your body would sweat, the sun would dry it off. Well, dry skin is going to be much hotter than wet skin. And so her body would feel the intense of the heat because it was exposed to the heat. Now I realize that common sense wise or even logically, that doesn't make a lot of sense until you understand about the sweat and how the sweat was naturally built within us to keep us cool to endure the heat. I do it all the time. I work outside in my yard every weekend for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. And by wearing the clothes that I wear, it allows me to be able to do that. So the take-home message to this is drink plenty of water, take breaks, get in some shaded, cool areas to cool your body down. Be sure to wear hats, even when you go out and dress your occasions. If you're going to be outside, especially outside in the sun, wear a hat. If you're working outside, grab a hat like this here and work on it. You know, sometimes people will try to work in baseball hats, and the problem is it doesn't protect your ears and it doesn't protect the back of your neck as well. And of course, dress appropriately. Wear clothes that's going to enhance your ability to sweat and enhance your ability to keep yourself cooler. And so I hope that if you enjoyed this information, and I know it's a little deviation away from what I typically talk about, but I felt like this time of year was important now that I'm reading about more and more droughts around the country and around the world. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe down below, ring the bell, and share this with your friends. And for now, stay cool. See ya.